Snooker, with its precise movements, clever plays, and intense focus, has won the hearts of millions around the world. From famous characters like Ronnie O'Sullivan to emerging talents like Judd Trump, the sport has seen its fair share of successes and controversies. While the spotlight is frequently shown on their achievements on the green bay, there is a darker side lurking behind the scenes that is rarely discussed: the personal problems, controversies, and scandals that have shadowed some of snooker's most famous players. Let's kick things off with Jimmy the Whirlwind White. Now, we all know that snooker is a game of professionals where many players are in the game with a serious demeanor and composed outlook. But don't confuse it with their dark sides. Many snooker stars' careers were ruined by the use of illicit substances and narcotics, but Jimmy White is possibly the sport's most notorious case of addiction. The six-time World Championship runner-up is widely regarded as the best player who never won snooker's most prestigious title, despite winning both the Masters in 1984 and the UK Championship in 1992. The Whirlwind, who is still playing at the age of 62, has managed all of this despite an addiction to booze and narcotics, admitting to spending hundreds of thousands on the Class A substance. While talking about his addiction in an interview, what Jimmy confessed was nothing but shocking, and it really showed how much he was into that.
And you know he's fucking lying. Do you know what I mean? That's how bad that drug was. And I called it sucking the devil's dick. And I done it for...
Moving on to Stephen Lee. Stephen Lee, who was formerly regarded as one of the world's best players, appears to have had his career cut short after receiving a 12-year suspension from the sport in 2013. The verdict pertained to 7 counts of match fixing that occurred in 2008 and 2009. Here's one of them.
Chapter of accidents.
Lee, at 49, will be able to compete again when he turns 50 on October 12, 2024, albeit with a soiled reputation. Since quitting the circuit, he has also been found guilty of fraud for selling a cue he never delivered in 2014 and teaching snooker in Hong Kong without a valid work visa in 2018. Up next, we have Alex Hurricane Higgins. Higgins was a bittersweet illustration of the delicate line that separates genius and crazy, admired by snooker fans while being an unmanageable figure. Hurricane, who is often recognized for bringing the sport into the modern era, was also known for living up to his namesake as a wild force of nature. Higgins smoked and drank during bouts, as did many of his colleagues at the time, but this frequently led to controversy, including 2 incidents in which he assaulted and headbutted match officials. He even turned on his teammates, threatening to give Northern Ireland's Dennis Taylor a shot at the World Cup. Soon after, he quit snooker.
See what you do without me, because I ain't planning on it. Good night, boys.
Such actions were not limited to contests. The 2-time world champion, who died in 2010 at the age of 61, was also found guilty of attacking a 14-year-old child in 1996, 1 year before his then-girlfriend Holly Hayes stabbed him 3 times in their house. Shocking, right? Let's talk a little about Ronnie O'Sullivan now. Ronnie O'Sullivan, widely recognized as one of the best snooker players of all time, has not been without controversy during his illustrious career. Despite his remarkable talent and countless honors, O'Sullivan's snooker career has been fraught with controversy and personal troubles. One of O'Sullivan's most famous disputes occurred during the 1996 World Championship. In a highly publicized match against Alain Robidoux, O'Sullivan stunned spectators and authorities by refusing to continue playing after being warned for his poor pace. O'Sullivan was penalized a frame and fined £20,000 for his remarkable act of defiance, triggering heated debate and scrutiny over his conduct on the table.
I can see what I'm going to do, and I can't just stand there and consciously take my time, because that would break my concentration. Believe me, I've tried it. It's slow.
O'Sullivan's issues with mental health and well-being have been well chronicled throughout his career. He has been open about his struggles with depression, anxiety, and addiction, exposing how these issues have affected his personal life and performance on the snooker circuit. In his autobiography, Running, O'Sullivan discussed his struggles with drug and alcohol addiction, bringing light on the darker side of celebrity and achievement in professional athletics. Furthermore, O'Sullivan's outspokenness and honest remarks have frequently placed him in trouble with snooker officials and fellow players. He has been punished several times for criticizing tournament rules, referee decisions, and the organization of the sport's regulating authorities. His candid and occasionally contentious comments have gained him both supporters and opponents in the snooker community, adding another degree of complication to his public image. In recent years, O'Sullivan has drawn criticism for his involvement in non-sanctioned exhibition matches and alternate snooker forms. His participation in tournaments that stray from traditional tournament formats, such as the Shootout and Championship League snooker, has sparked criticism from some snooker purists who question their legality and impact on the sport's integrity. Despite these scandals and problems, O'Sullivan's talent and accomplishments to the sport are unquestionable. He owns various records, including the most competitive century breaks, and has won multiple world championships, solidifying his place as a snooker icon. O'Sullivan's ability to overcome adversities and maintain peak performance demonstrates his tenacity and determination. Before we move on to the next moment, kindly leave us a like and subscribe to show your support for the channel. Also, leave your comments down below and let us know your thoughts about the video or what you'd like to see next time. Now let's go back to the video. Moving on to Mark Allen, and things got a bit heated here. Nobody likes a sour loser, and Mark Allen proved to be one after losing 10-6 to Chow Yu-peng in the opening round of the 2012 World Snooker Championship. Allen later speculated that blatant cheating was something that wasn't required to be done by a player like him.
Blatant cheating really going on, needs to be corrected. Because he's a good enough player, he doesn't have to do that.
The pistol was referring to other Chinese players at the time who he believed had gotten away with questionable officiating decisions. Allen later apologized for his comments, but it was insufficient to avoid a £10,000 punishment and 3-month suspension from the sport. Up next, we have Quinton Han. Just like that shot, headlines tend to follow Quinton Han wherever he goes, which has previously been true of his life outside of snooker. The day after he was acquitted of assaulting 2 women at his house in 2005, he was accused of match fixing, which led to an 8-year ban. The Wizard of Oz, one of snooker's most famed ladies' men, has also played barefoot and challenged Andy Hicks to a boxing battle in the 2004 World Championship. Han, 46, has since been temporarily barred from working in financial services in his native Australia, using the name Quinton Hunter after his Forex business defrauded consumers of millions of dollars. Moving on to Silvino the Silverfish Francisco. Although Silvino Francisco was eventually cleared of match-fixing claims in 1989, he later got into trouble with the law when he was imprisoned for 3 years for smuggling cannabis. The Silverfish, who won the British Open in 1985, was not the only Francisco to get into trouble. His nephew Peter was banned for 5 years for throwing a match against White in 1995. But guess what? Stephen Maguire has also made to this list today. A well-known snooker player, Stephen Maguire, became mired in controversy in 2008 when he was fined £1,000 and warned about his future behavior after being found guilty of bringing the sport into disrepute. Maguire had gotten into a heated argument with another player, Jamie Burnett, during a match, prompting accusations of unsportsmanlike behavior. The event highlighted concerns about tour players' conduct and the necessity for tighter disciplinary measures to protect the sport's credibility. Did he understand that? Well, not really. Talking about John Higgins. In 2010, famed Scottish snooker player John Higgins was accused of agreeing to manipulate matches for money, sparking a major scandal. Undercover journalists from a British newspaper approached him and said that he agreed to throw frames for £261,000.
€1,000 agreed?
The controversy shook the snooker community, ruining Higgins' reputation and resulting in his suspension from the sport, pending an investigation. Although he was eventually exonerated of match-fixing charges by the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association, the episode tarnished his reputation and demonstrated the vulnerability of even the best players to such allegations. Let's move on to Jamie Jones.
There's too much pressure out there to keep, you need to make things simple. I didn't really do that today, but I mean, I fought on. It's the only way I know how to play is to
The temptation of gambling and its possible impact on the integrity of snooker matches remains a source of concern in the sport. Jamie Jones, former world number 16, was suspended from snooker for more than a year in 2017 after admitting to breaking regulations governing betting on other players' matches. Jones's suspension served as a stark reminder of the consequences of engaging in prohibited gambling activities, as well as the importance of players following rigorous standards to retain snooker's reputation as a professional sport. These controversies and dark sides of snooker players highlight the difficulties and problems that athletes encounter both on and off the table. While snooker is praised for its flashes of brilliance and competitive success, it is critical to recognize and confront darker aspects that undermine the sport's integrity and image. So what are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.